But deep inside the forests of Vietnam's central highlands lies a gaping black hole that locals call the Death Pit. It has no echo, no visible bottom, and anything that steps too close to its edge simply disappears. But the most terrifying story of all is about a young couple swallowed by the pit. A story of love, loss, and a haunting that still lingers in the mountains of Lampont. Anne was a young Keho man raised in these forests. Mai was a girl from the lowlands who moved here to run a tiny coffee shop by the stream. They met on a rainy day when Mai got lost in the woods. Anne carried her down the slippery slope back to the village. They met on a rainy day when Mai got lost in the woods. Anne carried her down the slippery slope back to the village. From that moment, they fell in love. They planned to marry by the end of the year. But Mai had one strange wish. A blossom known as the lonely flame. Legend says if lovers pick it together, they'll be bound to each other forever. The village elder approached. Anne, do not take the girl into the forest at night. The death pit lies near that flower. The death pit lies near that flower, Anne. We're only looking for flowers. We'll be back by sunrise. Elder, that flower belongs to the dead. No, one who touches it finds peace. But Anne didn't believe him. N.E. Mai thought it was just an old legend meant to scare outsiders. They carried a tent, food, and a small silver bell Mai tied to her backpack in case we get separated. But the deeper they went, the more the bell rang softly at first, then constantly, even though there was no wind. Mai, do you hear that? It's been ringing for hours. And it's probably just loose. But Anne's face was pale. Here, a bell that rings without wind means something unseen is touching it. Late at night, Mai suddenly froze. Anne. Someone's calling me Anne. No one's here but us. Mai, terrified. It's my mother's voice, calling me from across the stream. But Mai's mother had died 3 years ago. A faint call echoed across the darkness. Mai, come home. The voice stretched unnaturally long, distorted, not quite human. The bell on Mai's backpack rang on its own. The bell on Mai's backpack rang on its own, one clear chime at a time, as if tugged by invisible fingers. Anne grabbed her hand. An urgent, stay inside the tent. But her eyes looked past him as if she were watching someone standing deep in the darkness. Near midnight, Anne woke up. The bell was ringing again. Mai was gone. Voiceover. The bell's chime led him through the fog until he reached a massive black void in the earth, the death pit, at the edge. He found Mai's scarf, the silver bell torn from its string, and her footprints, ending right at the precipice. A familiar voice echoed up, Anne, come down here with me. It was Mai's voice, but hollow, icy, and echoing from a place far beyond the living. Anne dropped to his knees and, Mai, where are you? The voice changed, now layered with many others, crying, laughing, whispering, together. Forever, suddenly, the ground beneath Anne shifted, as if being pulled inward. A cold, translucent hand rose from the darkness and grabbed his wrist. The bell rang violently. Anne clung to a root, screaming, but another hand wrapped around his ankle. In one swift motion, Anne was dragged into the darkness below. The bell fell, clanging once, then silence at sunrise. Villagers searched the forest. All they found were 2 sets of footprints, both ending at the edge of the pit. Voiceover. Since that day, hunters swear they hear a small bell ringing near the Death Pit. Voiceover. Since that day, hunters swear they hear a small bell ringing near the Death Pit. Some claim to see 2 shadows standing hand in hand at the cliff before dissolving into mist. Elder spoke only one sentence. Elder, the pit doesn't like lovers to part. It keeps them exactly as they wished. And so, the legend of the couple devoured by the Death Pit Conti